Damn, what's up everybody? My name is Nico and welcome to my channel. On this episode of Mind Your Business, we're going to be talking to Vlad. Vlad started his own business in the investment industry. He tells us where he started and how he grew. He talks about taking the leap into investments and blowing his savings and how to fail well. Check it out. What's up guys, it's Nico here and welcome to my channel. On this part of my channel is called Mind Your Business. Today we're going to be talking to a friend of mine. His name is Vlad. Vlad, tell us who you are, what you do and where did you start?
Awesome man, so my name is Vladislav Brykin, 24 years old, and I currently run a investment company called Cypher. What we do is we just help investment companies in South Africa implement investment strategies or products. It kind of started as a reason of circumstance from when I was roughly 18. So leaving high school, we didn't really have the means to go to university. And at that point, it was kind of a fact of reality, facing my own reality to know that I have to find a job to either survive or put myself through some sort of education.
For sure.
And I was kind of lacking the sort of clarity or guidance that I needed in order to really decide what it is that I wanted to do with my life. So I ended up just getting any job that I could at the time, which was basically a helper for a plumbing company. I did that for about 6 months whilst I was applying for any sort of bursary or scholarship that I could find for university so that I could just study engineering at the time. But of course I got rejected from every single one that I ever applied for. So by some stroke of luck, after 6 months of kind of cleaning sites and digging rubbish, I managed to move into an admin position within that company.
Within the same plumbing business?
In the same plumbing business, so life didn't get much easier, just a little bit less physical work. And around that time I kind of started experimenting with what it is that I actually want to do. Do I want to start opening my own business? Do I want to work for someone for the rest of my life? And
that was where, like 18, 19?
This was roughly like 19, 18 and a half. And by some sort of chance or miracle, I got a demo or a practice account from a forex brokerage. So basically they just give you some fake money, you practice how to trade with it, and it looked really easy to make some cash, and coming from where I came from, it seemed like a really good opportunity. So obviously, when something seems too good to be true, it normally is. So I put in some real money.
You actually started experimenting with your own funds.
Started experimenting with my own money that I earned through working for this plumbing company, and pretty much blew all of it.
Oh yeah.
Lost every single cent.
Was that a gradual blow it all, or was it like?
It was. I think it was within a week, if I'm not mistaken.
That must be disappointing.
I think I lost something like 15,000 rand.
What?
That I'd saved up, and to me back then it was a huge amount.
Dude, even now that's quite a lot of cash just to like flush down the toilet in a week.
Yeah.
That's a hard learning curve.
So I mean, after that, it kind of really got me thinking, like, is it really possible to make considerable amounts of money working for yourself, or is it better to just settle and kind of work a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life and just kind of go where life takes me? Over the course of the next 3 years, I kind of battled through learning, practicing, making mistakes, like trying to figure the ins and outs of the industry, let's say the investment industry. And I came across a mentor by chance who really took me in, and he really showed me the ropes and showed me what the industry can really offer me and how to go about it. And he really was.
How old were you when you found this mentor?
21. So he was really an integral part of my learning and my growth. And he really set me on a course where I knew exactly what I wanted to do and exactly how to do that. And in about 2016, so 2 years ago, I decided to open Cypher, the company, as a transition out of that mentorship phase to
starting up your own thing,
to actually taking action on what I've learned And since then we've been growing gradually, slowly, but we've been growing.
Sick. I've taken the dive into the investment world on social media, seen some guys there, some Forex guys that are promising the world to certain people, you know. How do you actually tell the difference between somebody who's real and somebody who's fake?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Thanks, man.
Only here at Reserve Cafe.
Look, what we have to do is just remember that in most cases in life, people are going to act in their own interests while pretending to act in yours.
Okay.
So that's number one. The issue that we have to tackle is the fact that people have a cognitive bias towards their own beliefs. So
What do you mean?
So there's a very, very big gap between what people believe and what the truth is, based on facts. So just because I believe in something doesn't make it true.
And media makes it a lot more believable.
You're looking through the eyes of one lens. You know, you're not getting both sides of the story or seeing behind the scenes. And like you said, it's media marketing. So these guys are good marketers.
Yes.
And it's not to detract from any sort of skill that they may have within the investment industry, but people need to be aware and alert and understand how they should question these people.
Yeah, and their intentions.
Yeah, so the first thing they need to really do is try and probe for transparency. So ask how these guys are getting remunerated, because there's lots of different remuneration structures and investments, right? So are these guys in a risk-off situation, meaning that if you're losing money, let's say as an investor, are they still in a position to make money?
Or are they being affected at all?
Are they being affected at all? Do they have any sort of vested interest in you succeeding? I mean, I can tell you that I'm going to make you a millionaire in a month if you give me 100,000 rand, but how am I getting paid? You know what I'm saying?
How much of that money is actually going into
How much
pockets?
of that money is going into the pocket? How is it getting there is the most important question. And what is the real value add that I'm giving you in order for me to be paid by you? You know what I'm saying? And what a lot of people do, and this comes back to the cognitive bias thing, is in terms of, let's say doctors, right? You go to a doctor, to a GP, and there's something wrong with your shoulder. And you go to the doctor and he says, whatever, you need an operation. And you just take him at face value just because they have a degree or they seem to have some sort of experience, but we don't go out and check their track record or their history of diagnosing correct and wrong. Yeah. It's the same with these Forex guys. Just because they've got a brand around them
doesn't mean they're real.
Does not mean that the things that they claim are validated.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to figure out how to validate those claims. And the first thing, or the first way to do that is to figuring out how and why they're getting remunerated. Okay. And understanding if they actually understand what they're talking about. Making money in investments or Forex is not as daunting as people make it seem, but it's also not as easy as what people make it seem. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight. I've never heard of anyone that has done it. And it's a long-term process. Just like any other business, you have to put blood, sweat, tears into it, time into it, patience, knowledge, learning, understanding, maybe some sort of mentorship. And I think maybe lastly, when you have a conversation with these kinds of guys who claim to be gurus and are driving gold-wrapped cars, you first have to consider that they're spending more time on social media promoting their services than actually performing those services. And
that actually says a lot.
Yeah,
that says a lot.
That says a lot. And the fact that knowledgeable people in a position of real power or real skill will always admit when they don't know something. Whereas people that are not will claim to know everything.
You're so right. And you kind of see it with these personalities. You see the way that they know everything. When it comes to running a business or being an entrepreneur, do you have an idea of what is like your best skill or your number one skill to have when starting out or growing a business?
Yeah, man. So I think the most important thing is learning how to fail well.
Failing well.
Fail well, because life is just a series of ups and downs, and it's almost cyclical in nature. So it will kind of be like
You can almost expect something to happen.
yeah, you'll always have like a really great day, and then following that you'll have a bit of a downer, or something bad may happen, or you'll go through the biggest down in your entire life, and through that you'll have some sort of radical success that you may achieve. So really learning how to take that process of failure and learn from it, which is what I mean by failing well, reflecting on what happened, reflecting on what you did and what you could do next time in order to assure that that situation doesn't happen again, or that you can mitigate certain aspects of it, is the most important thing I think of succeeding in life or in business. And I mean, I've failed more times than I can remember. I think I've had 3 businesses that I started early on that I failed at, and every single time I failed, I took key lessons from it, or learning why those businesses failed, or the types of people that I was working with that I know now that I cannot work with.
Yes.
So it gives me this kind of clear lens, or this clear scope, to recognize the real opportunities. So if a certain type of person comes up to me and offers me a business opportunity, or to partner up in a business or some sort of project, if they do not meet the criteria that I know I can work with, I have to say no. And what that does really is that just opens up more opportunities that are more in line with your vision at the end of the day. And along with that, being honest, transparent with your clients, with any sort of partners that you may have, being open-minded, and just being pure. I think having some sort of pure intent and trying to really give people some sort of value add, instead of just seeking the money and the instant gratification of that monetary return, I think that will really make you truly successful and will get you a long way.
Definitely. I find that when I really give the most value, I walk away from that project or that whatever I've done for that customer, I walk away with that 100 times more fulfilled. Like I feel like I've actually achieved something, like I've changed somebody when you walk into something and you provide the most value.
Exactly. And I mean, your clients will recognize it and they'll respect it, and in the long run, or maybe even the short run, you'll end up being paid more anyway.
Yeah, exactly. And you're building on that relationship, you're building more, you're adding more to the relationship with the client.
Yeah. So I think, as long as you don't chase the money really, which is a lesson that I've been told many times by many successful business people, but you don't really take it into account.
Yeah, you don't.
When you start out, don't chase the money, man. Fail well and don't chase the money. Chase the actual value.
If I was 18 years old and I wanted to start a business, jump into the entrepreneur life, and I had to come to you for any sort of advice, what would you tell me?
Okay. So yeah, man, there's a couple things that I've just learned throughout the time from more successful people that I can only relay. And the number one thing is you have to figure out, who am I? You really have to ask yourself the question, like, who are you?
Yeah, what can you do? What do you love? Like the core of who you are, yeah.
Exactly. Who are you at the core? And the second question is, what do you want to do? Because as a young entrepreneur, a lot of guys kind of take the value or the approach of becoming a serial entrepreneur. They want to open up a music label, then they want to do a marketing agency, then they want to do a restaurant, then they want to do XYZ. And they kind of become what people call jack of all trades.
Yes, yeah.
Think about that deeply. What are the core values that make you who you are? And what are the positive experiences that have made you who you are as well? Just really try and reflect on that and figure that out first, because that will help you seek out the opportunities that you need to seek out.
Yes.
And the second question is, what do I want to do? So if you can really make a clear goal or a clear vision for yourself, if you're 18, you are ahead of most other people. When I was 18, I was running around trying everything that I could to kind of just see if I would fit into the music industry or the office industry, or like building or anything like that, because
ideas go wild,
but not every idea is good.
Yeah.
So you have to really truly figure out what it is that you want to do and stick to it. A lot of guys kind of look at other people and they say, well, man, this guy is a rapper and he's making a killing rapping. But what are the chances that you're going to be as good as him? Or what are the chances that you're going to be as lucky as that individual to break through and have the same sort of success that they are? I mean, there's lots of rappers. There's also lots of traders.
Yeah, for sure.
There's lots of everything in the world. So you following your dream relentlessly and having a tunnel-like vision, I think is super important. After you've done that, you kind of have to maybe figure out the difference between what you're good at and what you're passionate about.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, just because I may be passionate about music doesn't mean that I could be a musician ever.
Yes.
You know, I can't count music, I can't hear, I'm tone deaf. It's horrendous train smash if I try to be a musician. But I love music. But what I'm good at is trading.
For sure, for sure. Look, if there's no demand or if there's no way for you to make money doing what you love, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. And that's something that I recently covered as well in one of my vlogs. Is like you have to focus on what skills you can use to make money.
And what you can do is, by utilizing what you're good at, for instance, trading, you can bridge that gap. I mean, if I make enough money or whatever the case is, if I reach a certain level of success, there's nothing that's stopping me from venturing into my passion as a side business.
For sure.
So you have to really differentiate between those two and figure out which one you're going to go with.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know, what is your most probable chance or path to success?
And yeah, in that you're basically building up to your passion. You know, you could use it as an aspiration to build into something you want to do. Might not be what you want to do exactly right now, but if it's helping you get to where you want to be, then do it, man.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think maybe the two last things really that I would give advice on is first of all, recognizing your strengths and weaknesses. We all have egos.
Yes.
We all when we're 18 or younger, we all feel invincible. And we think we can do everything. Meanwhile, we don't really focus enough on what we're not good at. And it's very important to figure out what it is that you're not good at, and either trying to upskill yourself, which is the second best option, or finding somebody that is in line with you and your vision that is good at what you are not good at. So if you're a higher level thinker and you can just see the vision, but you don't understand which tasks make up that vision or that end goal, find somebody who thinks on a granular scale, who doesn't see the higher vision, but who sees the tasks that make up that bigger vision.
Okay.
And work together, complement each other. And the last thing is a bit more metaphysical, is focus on your subconscious mind a lot.
Focus on your subconscious mind.
A lot. It's something that I've taken on this year.
Do you mean as in like being positive and like just like thinking about the good and like pushing yourself, motivating yourself?
I think people need to read about it and educate themselves on how the brain works. You know, by the time we're 6, we're pretty much programmed with all our responses. Because before 6 years old, you're just like a absorption machine. You know, you just kind of take in everything from your surroundings, and it's a balance between nature versus nurture. And it's more nurture on this end. You know, you before 6, you're looking at your mom and your dad or your brothers or the people around you and how they're reacting to certain circumstances. And you may not realize it, but when you're older, that is what you're going to react like, because that's what you've seen your whole life.
Yes.
And not all of those actions or reactions are good. So you might be self-sabotaging yourself. So saying, I want to be truly successful and I want to be rich, but your whole life you haven't seen successful people. You've seen people making mistakes that would put them back into a position where they cannot be successful.
Yes, yes.
So learning how to work with your subconscious mind, or learning how to at least recognize the kind of instances or programs that you kind of have in your head and working around them, I think is very powerful. That will help you kind of accelerate your success.
I find that really interesting because I'm very focused on not only upskilling myself but also developing my mind and the strength of my mind, because without being headstrong, I don't think I'd be able to run my business. I don't think I'd be able to engage with people. I don't think I'd be able to deal with the negative, you know. There's a lot that comes to the subconscious mind, and I think you've made a really good point there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bigger picture. If you had to look 5-10 years from now, what would your business goals be? Where do you see yourself?
Yeah, man. So there's no concrete monetary goals or no concrete like organizational type of outlook.
Yeah.
Like I said, our first priority is to deliver value. So basically what we want to do is just change the population's perspective on investments and just show people that there is a sweet spot almost, because there's a lot of scams out there that aren't doing the economy any good.
Yes.
And there's a lot of traditional investment schemes that are not boosting the economy in the manner in which they should. And it's shown in statistics. I think only 7% of people retire financially free.
Yeah, with their RA that's actually backed up, that they've been saving for the last 30 years.
Yeah, so why should we work from 9 to 5 for 40 years in order to retire poor and barely afford any sort of average living, you know? So we have a product that solves that issue. It's now a matter of how we get that product out and show people that it is realistic, it is achievable, and we're doing that in the most transparent way possible, in the most honest way possible, and hopefully people see the sort of value that it adds to their lives. I mean, all we want to do really is have people reach their financial dreams.
For sure, for sure.
That's it.
And that should be the core value of any investment firm or any sort of business like that.
Yeah.
Is actually to provide the long-term value, see the future goals. And if you are getting into that industry, you know, you need to have that vision to build on, you know, to build on other people's goals. I think that's very important. So there you go, guys. You've heard it from the man himself, Vlad. Thank you for opening up to us. Thank you for talking about where you come from, how you've grown from there, and giving us a bit of insight from your industry. Guys, if you want to find out more about Vlad, check the details in the description. Thank you, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
So there you go. If you enjoyed listening to Vlad, or if you have anything to say yourself, leave a comment down below. Hit the like button and we're friends. Hit the subscribe button and we're family. Thanks for watching.